Look at this little cake. Man, it's so cute. It makes me hungry. No. Customizing a terrain piece for a single one-shot is crazy, but that's what I'm gonna do today. Last video I made this huge terrain piece, which you can't see, it's out of frame. Let's change. So this is the maze that I made for my one-shot. Now I'm gonna treat myself and do all the fun things, like hiding trinkets and small things. Did I get into tabletop gaming just for the small little funny guys? Yes! Anyway, let's get to it.
Here's the plan. My maze is missing a grand entrance. To let everyone know what the vibe is here. The Lake of Swords I finished last time, but I want to add a banquet room full of tasty treats that they'll have to resist eating, unless they want to get turned into a toad or start teleporting randomly. Next, there is a room full of challenges, where they'll have to choose a skill and battle their past self. Lastly is the room where there's a smaller monster, so it needs a monster. And of course the time worm that is let loose if they spend over an hour in the labyrinth, and will surely devour them all. The rest of the maze needs to be filled in at the dead ends, with funny tricks that will slow the players down, like a mirror that turns their head around, or a treasure chest that hurls coins at you.
Okay, so I 3D sculpted some pieces for a gatehouse. I just printed them out, but I think I see a small problem. So I didn't really measure how wide the space was, which might have been a mistake, and I wanted to make it cool and grand, but now this is not going to work. I'm gonna add an extra platform for an entrance bit. Is that a good idea? Sure. Maybe round it out? Okay, I think what we're gonna do is just rip out these hedge sections so the thing fits in here. Ah, this is gonna be painful. Oh, this is so painful. Okay. This is gonna go great.
So I cleaned up my print and painted it. I have a few spray paint cans in the Hazelands colors, and I used those as a base layer. Then I added some detailing for contrast, a nice wash and some brighter colors. To finish it off, I recycled some flocking to tie everything together.
Okay, so my gatehouse is done. Gatehouse? It's done. So let's put it in the labyrinth. Let's see how it looks. Yes! If I may say so myself. That's great.
Now the next thing, the banquet room. I used some foam scraps to cut out tables and drew in a wood crane with a wood burner on the lowest setting, and wear mask buddies, very important. The paint job was pretty simple, I just painted it brown and a little dry brush.
So yeah, these are some little food items that Curtis from Ramshackle Games gave to me. They're the cutest thing, look! So the banquet room is done, the gatehouse is done. Next room.
For the challenge room, I wanted some tiles to represent the skills challenges. I brainstormed some symbols that correlate with D&D stats, so the players can place their mini on them to trigger the challenge. I wouldn't say this is my best work, but I'd really like to make a Hazelands font so I can have some symbols for next time.
So these little tiles are done. What I basically did is I made up some vague symbols that correlate to D&D stats, and honestly, I didn't have a bunch of inspiration for how I would do this room, because a lot of it would be theater of the mind. But I think these tiles are pretty simple, pretty fun, and good for finishing up some scraps. The hot knife was honestly pretty hard to control, so these symbols are a little bit wonky, but they'll do the trick. So one of the ideas that I wanted to make, because it made me chuckle, was a toilet. I know, my humor is top notch. But there's like 2 hallways in my labyrinth, and one of them leads to the middle, which is the end of the labyrinth, and one of them is really long, but it's a dead end, and I thought it'd be really funny to put a toilet in there. So I think I'm gonna use a block of foam and turn it into a little outhouse.
I started up by cutting a 1-inch foam block and a little roof. I use a sharp and very hard pencil to draw in some details and wood texture. Then I cut up a bunch of planks so I could stick them onto the base. I didn't try to do a clean job because I wanted it to be a bit messy anyway. It is an outhouse after all.
So the outhouse is ready for me to paint. I put a base coat on it so I can paint it beautifully today. I was talking with someone about what paints to use for D&D terrain. I use these acrylic paints. They're huge pots in all the base colors. For details, because I want to put like a handle on this and maybe like a little lock, I will probably use some shiny miniature paints to do that. Usually for like all the big surfaces, I first do a base coat of spray paint and then just some of the cheapest acrylics I can find.
Cutting up beads makes for great details. This tiny handle and the hinges were the last step before painting. It's a pretty simple paint job. I went from a dark to a lighter poopy brown, using drier paints every step to get depth. And of course to decorate, a little grass and flowers. I chose these yellow flowers because they remind me of what we call in Dutch pea flowers.
It's so cute. Okay, so my small little outhouse is finished. I think it looks great. Important question, would you poop here? Okay, so I've made this mirror. It'll do. It's not my best work, but it'll do. I'm just gonna look around in my bits to see if there's anything else I can hide in any other dead ends. Little palm trees. Palm tree. Not really the aesthetic, but cute. A tiny cannon. Oh, and by the way, I have a Patreon now. The whole story of the labyrinth is on there. A lot of the stuff I post there is free because I just want to share some deeper behind the scenes. But you can also get some of my miniatures and other creations I've made on there. And it'd be really nice if you could support me, because that means I can spend more time doing this. Whatever this is I'm doing. I would like to take this moment to thank my patrons that already support me, which is incredibly nice, and I'm very, very thankful. Okay, so all the secrets are in the labyrinth. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. Wait. This is important. Okay, I can end the video before I showed you this, but apart from all the secrets that I put in the maze, I also made a few miniatures. I can't help myself. I just like little guys, and I just really wanted a dragon that was made especially for the maze. Look, it's so cool! There's the big one, there's the baby, because you always need the baby, and then there's also this egg, little egg prince. He's just precious. That's all I have to say. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You can find these miniatures on my mini factory. What else do I have to do? You can find these files on my Patreon for free, and you can also find me making something else in the next video. So, see you then!